Well, let's dive in. We'd love to hear your take on all of the stories today, starting with this one. Hey, do we need to rethink terms like saying guys or hey bud to a group of people or a person? Yeah. So here's the story. Hunter Games star Hunter Schafer was on The Tonight Show recently. Jimmy Fallon repeatedly called her Bud. Hey, Bud, Bud. So Hunter is transgender, and online critics are saying that calling someone Bud or Buddy is gross and male-coded, they say. So do we need to reconsider these terms? So there's Bud, there's Dude, hey guys, when there's mixed gender groups. I mean, what's your take on this, Kendall?
You know, for me, this actually came up very recently. My partner is trans, and we were approached by some people, and they said, hey guys. And my partner was, comfortable enough in that situation to stand up and say, I actually don't feel comfortable with that language.
Okay.
Now, that is a specific instance to each person, I will say. But I know that often, even as a drag performer, sometimes when it's these traditionally male groupings, if you will, sometimes they're actually being said to be derogatory. So, when I'm in like a ride share, for example, I very often get, thanks, sir. Even if I am wearing the fringe boots. It happens weekly. And it's just one of those little microaggressions, if you will, where I feel like they're trying to get under our skin. Now, the story with my partner, not necessarily a negative connotation, but it's hard to sort of disassociate.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's
but I love that they said something.
Absolutely.
I think that's really important.
Oh, she's a strong girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have quite the arguments in our house, but I love it.
I'm queen of Bud. I use Bud too much.
Okay.
Even every day before the show, like Jess, they do an audio check. I'm like, gotcha, Bud. It's Bud if it's a woman, if it's a man, it doesn't matter. So I first became aware of this just a couple of days ago.
Right.
When we had Jinx Monsoon and Ben de la Creme on. And because I do Bud and guys, and I refer to guys when it's us girls. Yeah. And I looked at both of them and I said, do you guys? And as soon as it came out of my mouth, I felt my chest go red. And I was like, oh boy, did I just step in it? Should I apologize after the show? Maybe they didn't even register it. And I became almost quiet after that. Like I was afraid of messing up again. And that's the challenge for me as a cisgendered person. I feel like when I don't want to offend, I change the way that I speak. And it's maybe a little disingenuous, like I'm tiptoeing it.
You know what?
Just so I don't step in it. So what's better, like stepping in it and hoping that the person knows my intent and my heart is good? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good question. What should she do?
Yeah, I feel like it definitely depends on the person. And I think that it's also a similar conversation with pronouns. I think if you don't know, it's okay to talk to them about it. Yeah. I think it's okay to have that conversation and be like, hey, are you comfortable if I say this? This is really in my jargon. For example, for you say it all the time. Yeah. But, a quick conversation, that to me as a person makes me feel heard. Yeah. It makes me feel, welcomed. And that I'm entering a safe space.
Yeah, I love that you said that because, we love that. That's fantastic. Because what's interesting about this is that anybody who watches Jimmy Fallon, you know that he kind of does that to everybody. He buds everybody. So I know his intention, unlike what happens to you when you're in a ride share, was probably just him being colloquial. And I think, change is hard for people and it takes time. But what I love about what your partner did is that they handled it with grace. Yeah. To understand a quick conversation, you're right. There are lots of words that I used as a kid that I do not use because someone had a quick conversation with me, like, we can't use that word anymore. And I go,
don't we know it?
Right? And we know it now. So I think going forward, what I don't like is all the negative comments in social media. That comment section, they're always good for
cancel
some negativity.
Culture.
Right? And I'm like,
do not like
let's
that
handle it with grace because let's be real. In that situation, Jimmy was not coming with ill intent to make
there wasn't
feel bad,
anything malicious about it.
I love that we're making that change. And I have friends who in the LGBTQ community who are still like, even themselves are like, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm learning all the time.
Exactly.
And that's what I love Canada's Drag Race for, because I distinctly recall an episode where all the queens were painting and were having that very discussion. And in one room, no two people were coming away with the same conclusion. And I thought it was very enlightening. Yeah. What I will say for people who are like, I don't know and I'm scared, but you have your heart in the right place, just imagine the opposite. If there was a group of men and someone came in and said, instead of saying, hey guys, they said, hey gals. everyone's head would go like, oh, that's weird. So this is what I'm saying. Like, you can't assume, like, the patriarchy, we're trying to take it down, are we not? We're not trying to take down men. We are, because the patriarchy doesn't work for men either. What I say is I'm reminded of how the patriarchy is so ingrained in all of us. So if you just remember, if you flip the script and you don't want to be called, hey, ladies, and it's a group of guys, then maybe you shouldn't say, hey, guys, to a group of mixed gender people.
So what I'm hearing is the next time I'm in a ride share, I should say, thanks, girl.
Yes!
Thanks, girl.
Yes, that's right. That's perfect.
Thanks, woman.
I love that.
Right?
And see how that feels.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting this.
Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.